Welcome to Brody Cinnamon Tech. This is going to be a bit different with thinking way outside the box. This video is how I built a home theater riser out of steel bed frames. Yep, steel bed frames. On my home theater tour video, there are a few projects that deserve their own video. The first one I'm going to cover is probably the most unconventional and required the most out-of-the-box thinking. I was planning on building a riser for my second row in my home theater, and I was checking out YouTube, Googling the crap out of the subject of building a conventional riser, but due to the tight spiralish steps to my basement, I would need to build two 5.5 by 6.5 foot sections to fit into the back of my 20 by 11 room. I was also planning to get the wood cut at Home Depot due to my lack of saws and heavy duty tools. I had estimated for all the materials, including 2 by 12 wood for the frame and OSB for the tops, deck nails with brackets, also with carpet and padding, would cost somewhere around $550. With my lack of expertise in carpentry, I definitely was a bit intimidated by the project. So I started wondering if there was another way. Then I remembered building a steel bed frame for one of my kids a couple of years ago. It had seemed like something I should look into, so I did. I felt like it had to have been done before. If so, there had to be some tips out there. When I started to research to see, I found pretty much nothing. Nothing on YouTube, Googling turned up nothing. I did find out on one of my Facebook groups that there had been some talk about building one on a podcast and some chatter on a forum. Still, couldn't find that. One side of my brain figured I could get a bed frame, glue a OSB panel on it, add some carpet and padding, and have a theater riser. The other side of my brain thought I was nuts for even considering this. So I then got on Amazon and started researching some bed frames. My main concerns were as follows. Strength. Can it hold two decent sized folks while another walks past to access a seat on the other side? 2. Is it big enough to cover the area for my second row, which is 11 by 6.5 feet? It at least was going to take 2 frames. Height. After conducting some scientific book stack tests, I figure somewhere between 10 and 11 inches height would work just fine. After looking far and wide, I settled on 2 queen-size frames from a company called Vangaris. They measured 80 by 60 by 12 inches. And when figuring an overhang from the OSB, they were perfect for my application. Also, the manufacturer stated that the maximum capacity was 3,000 pounds. I figured that number was a bit optimistic, but if they could hold half of that, I'd be in pretty good shape. Another plus is that the tops were flat to give more surface for the glue. Even better yet, at the time they were on sale for $67 each. So I took a chance with the side of my brain that thought this might work, and I ordered them. Once they arrived, I went down to my friendly neighborhood Home Depot and purchased 4 4x8 panels of 23/32 OSB for $22 each and had them cut to size. For adhesive, I settled on Liquid Nails Fuse-It Max all-surface construction adhesive. I ended up needing 4 tubes at $11 each. Kind of expensive, but they did work out. After looking for carpet, I came to the conclusion that a padded rug would do just fine and be less work. Less work is good, right? So I ordered 2 6x9 shaggy black rugs off of Amazon from a company called Isu for about $53 each. They were more expensive than carpet and padding, but seemed a lot easier to work with. After all, time is money. With the 12-inch high frame, When you added the platform and rug, we were at approximately 13 inches. So I went back to Amazon to find a step solution. I ended up going with two very modern looking 6.5-inch steps by Holana in black for $27 each. They were actually made of acacia wood. You know, if it was good enough for Noah's Ark, it's good enough for me. With all the materials in place, it was time to start building. Putting the frames together was relatively easy. Well, relative to wood frames, they were extremely easy. The first one took about an hour. The second one took about 45 minutes because I was now a professional bed frame assembler. I then set the first frame on a tarp in the area near where it was going to be in the room and applied a bead of adhesive on every rail on the top of the frame. Then I attached the OSB platforms. The platforms were in two pieces for each frame, 62 by 48 inches and 62 by 34 inches, which gave each platform a total size of 62 by 84. That gave me some overhang on the 60 by 80 inch frame, so I had room to attach the rug and attach some strip lights later. I then laid the 6 by 9 rug on the platform, centered it, and stapled down the long side, pulled it tight, then stapled down the opposite side, and repeated the process for the shorter front and back, making sure it was as tight as possible. Then I got a very sharp carpet knife and cut along the seam between the frame and the platform to trim off the excess carpet. Then I folded, trimmed, and stapled the corners for a neat look. On a side note, I'm so glad I had ordered a battery-powered electric staple gun for this project because it definitely used a whole lot of staples. It was really looking good so far, so it was on to building the second platform, which went pretty smooth and a little faster than the first. Again, expertise. Once both risers were together, it was a very tight fit into the width of the room, or should I say squeeze. I actually had to trim off some of the wall molding on the left side, but I was very satisfied with the way it fit into the room. I then put my theater chairs on them and added the steps. I put my room back together and wow, I'm so glad I listened to the side of my brain that told me to go for it. When you walk on them, they felt very solid. There was no creaks at all. It was everything that I thought it was going to turn out to be. Now, for safety's sake, I ordered a Gove Smart LED 16.4 strip light for $20 and a Muzak black aluminum LED channel system with a smoky black lens cover to hold and diffuse the light strip, which also cost $20. Because my old IKEA lac side tables were now too wide, I jumped back on Amazon and ordered some Alpheus end tables for $69. They're 13.4 inches wide and fit perfectly as a bonus, each table has two AC outlets and two USB 2.0s. I had envisioned the riser closed off with a black bed skirt. It is a bed frame, right? Or some black foam board with acoustic foam to cover it. But once I got it all together and turned on the lights, I loved the modern industrial look of the open riser and steps. Like I said on my theater tour video, by building this unconventionally, it came with some big benefits. One, time of construction. It took approximately 2 afternoons, maybe 8 hours total, even working at my pace. Cost. I was all in with the risers and steps for about $420. 3. Storage. It's approximately 58 cubic feet of space underneath these risers. 4. It acts like a giant bass trap. It cured a bass lull that I had in my main listening position. I actually had to turn down the subs a little bit. 5. My rear 2 subs are on the riser, so when big bass happens, you get a tactile transfer to the soles of your feet along with the bass shakers. It's pretty awesome. All in, this was a hyper successful project. Now every seat in the theater is a great one. My family and I are extremely satisfied with the outcome. Hopefully, this exercise of thinking outside the box inspires someone else to build a budget home theater riser in this unconventional way. It sure saved me some blood, sweat, tears, money, and time. Hey, thanks for hanging out. See you on the next video.